In this video, we are looking at sharing quantities in a given ratio. Let's get straight into the first example. I want to share 8 sweets between Alice and Bob in the ratio 1:1. What this means is that for every 1 sweet I give Alice, I want to give Bob 1 sweet as well. So hopefully you can see what this means is that I want to give an equal number of sweets to Alice and Bob, and that will mean they get 4 sweets each. But I'm going to illustrate this using a bar model, and that will hopefully help us with some more complicated questions to come. What I've drawn here are 2 boxes. There's one box to represent Alice's 1 part, and there's a different box to represent Bob getting 1 part in this ratio. So we've got Alice and we've got Bob, and we know we have a total of 8 sweets, remember? So these 2 boxes have to represent 8 sweets. And the idea of these boxes is that each of them must contain an equal amount. So we need 4 sweets in there and 4 sweets in there. And that's how we get our answer. Alice gets 4 sweets and Bob gets 4 sweets as well. Let's take a look at the next question. This time we need to split £30 between Carl and Dee in the ratio 3:2. Notice this time that we're not going to give Carl and Dee equal amounts. The ratio 3:2 means that Carl is actually going to get more than Dee. Let's see how this looks on a bar model. I've got 3 boxes for Carl and 2 boxes for Dee, and that's just because of what the question tells us. Carl 3, Dee 2. Remember, the order matters in ratios. Now, what else do we know? We know that we are sharing a total of £30 between them. So these 5 boxes have to represent £30. Why did I say 5 boxes? Well, Carl's got 3 boxes and Dee's got 2 boxes, so that is 5 boxes altogether. And each of these has to be equal. That's the key idea here. Now, if each of these 5 boxes is equal, and together they are worth £30, how much is each box worth? Well, we can just do £30 divided by 5, and that gives us £6. So each box is worth £6. Let's just check those add up to £30. Yep, it's 5 lots of 6, of course, it's £30. Now, this tells us exactly how much Carl gets and how much Dee gets. Carl is going to get 3 lots of £6, and Dee is going to get 2 lots of £6. Pause the video and work out how much that is. You should have got that Carl will get £18 and Dee will get £12. A sensible thing to do when you get to the end of a question like this is add up your amounts together, £18 and £12. That should add up to the amount you were sharing originally. So in this case, we knew we were sharing £30 between these people, and 18 plus 12 is 30. If you get a total that doesn't match the one in the question, then you know you've made a mistake somewhere. In this example, we want to split £35 between Emily and Fiona in the ratio 2:8. Just like before, what I can do is set up a bar model. Here you can see I've got 2 boxes for Emily and 8 boxes for Fiona. And what we're trying to do is split the £35 equally amongst all of these boxes. Now, altogether, I've got 10 boxes, 2 for Emily, 8 for Fiona, remember? So each box would be worth £3.50. Pause the video and write down how much Emily gets and how much Fiona gets. You should have found that Emily gets £7, that's 2 boxes of £3.50, and that Fiona gets £28, that's £7 across those 2 boxes, another 7, another 7, and another 7. So that's 28 altogether. Now, there was actually a better way of doing this question, because This ratio actually simplifies. 2 to 8 simplifies to 1 to 4. So I could actually use a simpler bar model. And in fact, I'm going to show you that now. This is still exactly the same question, except I've simplified the ratio. So instead of having to draw a bar model with 10 boxes, I now only have to draw 5 boxes, 1 for Emily and 4 for Fiona. And I'm still sharing £35, but now it's between 5 equal boxes. So in each box I need £7. And hopefully you can see that this way it's a lot less work than the previous way. So that's a good tip to bear in mind. If you can simplify the ratio at the beginning, simplify it. It will save you time later on. We've still got £7 for Emily and £28 for Fiona. And remember what I said? A good check to do at the end of one of these questions is to add these up and make sure they add up to the correct total. 7 plus 28 is £35, so we know we've got this one correct. Just one final observation. The bar model makes it really clear what fraction of the total each person is getting. Emily is getting 1 out of 5 boxes in total. So Emily is getting 1/5. She's not getting a quarter, which you might think by looking at this simplified ratio. She's not getting 1/4, she's getting 1/5 of the money. And if you just check that, 1/5 of £35 is 7. Fiona, meanwhile, is getting 4/5. She's getting 4 boxes out of 5 boxes in total. So she's getting 4/5 of the money, and 4/5 of £35 is £28. Here is the next question. Gareth, Hannah, and Ian were paid $400 for completing a project. Gareth worked for 5 hours on the project, Hannah worked for 3 hours, and Ian worked for 2 hours. Split the money fairly between the 3 of them. Okay, because they worked for different amounts of time on the project, it wouldn't be fair to try and split the money equally amongst the 3 of them. We should give more money to Gareth because he worked the most hours, and we should give a bit less to Hannah because she worked 3 hours, which is the next highest amount, and we should give Ian the least because he spent the least amount of time on it. And in fact, what we're going to do is split the money between Gareth, Hannah, and Ian in the ratio 5 to 3 to 2, because that represents how many hours each of them spent on it. You might also be getting tired of drawing those bar models, so we're going to look at this question without drawing that kind of diagram, at least not in full. So, Gareth, he's going to have 5 boxes, and I'm just going to write 5 boxes instead of actually drawing 5 boxes. Hannah, we're going to give her 3 boxes. And Ian, we're going to give him 2 boxes. That means altogether we need 10 boxes. And we're going to put an equal amount of money into each box. How much money do we have again? $400. That's what we need to share between the 3 of them. So, sharing $400 between the 10 boxes, we find that each box must have $40. That's $400, the total amount we're sharing, amongst 10 boxes, and that's $40. Now, we know Gareth gets 5 boxes, and each box has $40. That means Gareth gets 5 times $40. And that is $200. Pause the video and work out how much Hannah and Ian get. Here's what you should have got. Hannah gets $120 and Ian gets $80. And remember to do that quick check at the end of the question. We were sharing $400 between the 3 of them, so these amounts here need to add up to $400. If they don't add up to $400, that means we've made a mistake. But luckily, if you just check and add these, you'll find they do add up to $400, so that's great.